Press OK to reconnect. Oh, it's all down.
Oh, damn.
Slash quit.
Hey guys, this is Ned from TGN.tv, and I'd like to welcome you to this Rift beta video. In this video, I'm going to be covering the Mage Soul Dominator. So first off, what the hell is a Dominator, you may ask? Good question. A Dominator is a mage that specialises in CC and anti-magic. It's quite a weird soul to play, as it has a mixture of offensive, defensive, and drain abilities. So let's go have a look at the talents. Okay, first of all, let's go ahead and look at the talents. Now for Dominator, it is recommended that you take Stormcore and Necromancer, and I have done so. Okay, for Dominator abilities, the first one you get in the tree is called Pre-Slayment. It debuffs the enemy for 20 seconds, causing any heal or buff abilities they use to have a 60% chance to silence them for 3 seconds. As you can imagine, against healers, this is really powerful. This is incredible. Arresting Presence projects the mage presence onto a target. Blah blah blah. Enemies within 10 meters of the target are silenced for as long as they stay in range. This is a pretty good spell as well, but it costs charge to use, and the charge depletes very quickly. Transference. You drain up to 50 charge, mana, or energy from the target, and you deal death damage based on the amount drained. This is quite a powerful spell, and it also reduces their regeneration to 0 for 5 seconds. Wow. Quicken Form reduces the cast time of your Transmogrify, which is basically polymorph to 0. And last but not least, we have Reflective Presence. Projects the mage's presence onto the target, and allies within 10 yards have a 60% chance to reflect hostile spells. So yeah, this is pretty powerful. And oh, would you look at that? I haven't spent any points. This is a good chance to spend them. Now the Dominator has a lot of air spells, so it's probably best to go in Stormcaller. Take that there. And I will take Improved Electrocute. And we're done. So save and exit. Now to show you the Dominator in combat. Now, as for the Dominator in combat, because it's so based on CC, it doesn't actually have that many damage abilities. All its abilities are about controlling the opponents on the battlefield. This, unfortunately, doesn't make it a very good spec to level with. I think it would be best in sort of PvP, or perhaps high-end raids would want at least one Dominator in their group so they can control a lot of stuff. But I'm going to show you the Dominator spells. Now, the main attack spell you get is called Neural Prod. It's an instant cast spell that you run around using. That's basically it. Storm Shackle. This is quite an interesting one, actually. You root the target and then place a debuff on it, and when the target tries to run, the storm starts exploding, and it does a really high amount of damage. If I just show you these two spells in action here. I'm just going to use Storm Shackle on this mob, then run around spamming Neural Prod. And if you watch when it tries to move, it'll get stormed. As you can see, it's actually quite a powerful ability. Oh no, there's a bat. There is a bat. A bat! The most horrible creature in creation. Here's a spell called Thunder Blast. Knock it back. And run around, continuing to spam Neural Prod. This is basically Dominator combat for everything. You just run around spamming Neural Prod, and for some reason these passive mobs, like, they seem to enjoy aggroing when you pull a big mob. I'm going to show you Transmogrify, which is instant polymorph. What the hell? Why did it work? It didn't work. Try again. There we go. Transformed into a harmless little squirrel for 34 seconds. Okay, the next spell I'm going to show you here is called Haunting Pain. Haunting Pain's a very powerful damage over time, but when the target moves, it gets rid of it. So the best thing to do is use Storm Shackle, which roots the target, and then Haunting Pain. If I just show you here, put my pet on passive. And it should start really damaging up, and as soon as it moves, it gets that. And as you can see, its health goes down fairly quickly. Okay, the next spell I'd like to show you is Mana Wrench. This does a small amount of damage, but it drains a lot of the target's mana. Unfortunately, no target here has mana. Or will this work? It might work actually. Have a look at my mana while I use this. Hey, it works. And as you can see, I'm actually getting quite a bit of mana back. So just gonna Storm Shackle. Thunder Blast. And spam your prod. That's Dominator combat for you, ladies and gents. Another spell that I should show you is called Transference. What Transference does is it drains a certain amount of the target's energy, power, mana, whatever they use, and does damage based on the amount drained. If I just find a mob here, you can just see how much damage this does. So it does about 50 damage. That's not actually that much. Storm Shackle. Ooh, and here are our presents. Let's try Reflective Presence. If these guys have any spells to use. Well, anyway, if there was a caster casting spells at me, they would be reflected. But unfortunately, there is not. And that's just gone and drained my charge completely. What else do we have here? Static Barrier is a small buff, creates a shield around the ally every time they take damage. A small amount of air damage is done. Let's get moving. Let's go find some mobs. What else should I describe? You have Reflective Command, which is your spell reflect. And now we get on to the Dominator AoE CCs. Now, this is why you'd want a Dominator in your group. It has quite a lot of really cool... What the hell is this mob doing? It's like it knows I'm there. It's following me. Anyway, Accelerated Decay. Put this on the target, and every time they do something, they get reduced to their melee and casting speeds by a certain amount. Like if I put on this guy. Oh, it didn't pull. Oh, it's just a shot. You can see here it's building up, so it's like got pretty low melee hit. Or it should do anyway. That's one of them. We have Grasping Void. This is basically an AoE slow. The longer they're in the hole, so they get. You can see I'll just try and cut this guy around in it. And it applies stack to enemies around it. We have Void Shroud, reduces all healing an enemy does by 30%. Pre-Slayment, that's the one that has a chance to silent them. It's really powerful, doesn't have that longer cooldown. And I'll just kill this guy quick. Here's a spell I want to show you. It's called Overpowering Will. It confuses the target. Confusion is quite unique to Rift. As you can see, it's basically a snare or a stun that just stands there, won't do anything. I can repeatedly use this. We have Deny here, reduces all stuff from an ally. And we have Memory Wipe, which transfers threat to the target. Or reduces your threat by 80%, should I say, but transfers it to the skeleton. That's pretty much the Dominator in a nutshell. It's not very effective for leveling. I think it probably will get a lot better at high levels, but at the current level I'm in, it just doesn't have that many sufficient tools. It's really reliant on the other trees as well. It's probably worth having one in high level raid groups or your PvP groups for obvious reasons. Last spell we get a Dominator is Chastise, curses an enemy for 20 seconds, and each time they perform an action, placing stacking debuff on them, reducing all damage and healing they do. That's pretty much all. A lot of the Dominator is based on the enemy either standing still or moving for its spells to work. So this is pretty much a PvP heavy class. It's most of its abilities are definitely obviously intended at PvP, and I could imagine mixing it with the Mage PvP Soul Archmage, which is, I do not think it's available yet, or if it is, it's not for my level. But anyway, that's the Dominator in a nutshell. This has been Ned for TGN.TV signing off. See you guys.